The year is 1976. Disco music, bell-bottom jeans, and Rocky running up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum for the first time. It was also the year after my dad graduated high school. Barely. Today, we're going to be focusing on one thing: the founding of the Disc Golf Association. But in order to do that, we need to go back even further. 1924. A simpler time. This was the year that a special individual was born in Pasadena, California. Steady Ed Hendricks. Little known fact, Steady Ed is actually short for Stedward Edward. He is known to this day as the father of disc golf. But in order for him to get there, we need to go back to the future. 1964, when Ed got a job at a little company I like to call Whammo. This is where the pieces start to fall in line for golf with discs. See, Ed really wanted this job so badly that he offered to work there for free. After 3 months of proving his worth, Arthur Mellon, co-owner of Whammo, decided to move Ed to the R&D department so that he can figure out new toy ideas. Like the Super Ball! Remember those? He was tasked with figuring out what to do with the excess plastic from hula hoops and decided to take it and redesign a toy that Whammo had that wasn't really doing so hot at the time. The flying saucer toy named the Pluto Putter. He took the design of inventor Walter Frederick Morrison and he added sport rings for maximum sport. And in 1967, he was awarded the patent for this said design. The team at Whammo noticed that there was a craze going on around the country at college campuses where kids were taking pie pans, flipping them upside down, and tossing them to each other. And anytime they would toss it and it would go near an innocent bystander walking around the campus, they would yell, "Frisbee!" because of the name of the maker of the pie pans. They decided to call the new version of the saucer the Frisbee, after that said pie pan maker, although they changed the IE to an EE for trademark purposes. Ed got the idea of disc golf during his lunch breaks at Whammo when him and his colleagues would throw Frisbees at trash cans. He thought, what if you take this new toy, the one that is skyrocketing into fame because of campaigns that he made talking about how cool you would look if you were to do trick shots to your buddies, and you combined it with a sport that has been around since the 1400s. Golf. I'm not joking. It's that old. Look it up. Instead of aiming to land a little white ball into a cup, he would drive poles into the ground, and the hole would be completed when the pole was hit with your Frisbee. And there you have it. By combining a tried and true sport from Scotland with the reimagined flying saucer toy that he created, we now have Frisbee golf. Just kidding! Unfortunately, Whammo did not have the same vision as Ed for this new sport, and they refused to license the trademark Frisbee. He decided to call this new sport we know and love disc golf instead, and in 1975, he left Whammo to chase his dreams. 1 year later, we are back. 1976. Did I mention the bell bottoms? Ed, along with his son Ken, founded the Disc Golf Association, or the brand we call today DGA. Shortly after, in that same year, Ed helped to found the Professional Disc Golf Association, and because of that, he is PDGA number 001. Step aside, Smitty Warben Jensen. That is a SpongeBob joke. In 1977, Ed and Ken developed the first ever disc golf basket. Patent after patent, revision after revision, Ed was set out to make the most optimal basket the sport has ever seen. All the way up until 2002, when Ed unfortunately passed away. Now there are over 16,000 courses in the world, all using some version of the basket that is one of his most important inventions. His dying wishes were to have his ashes sprinkled into a limited amount of discs. Some went to friends and family, and the rest were auctioned off, and the proceeds went to the Steady Ed Memorial Disc Golf Museum of the PDGA International Disc Golf Center, or the PDGA IDGC, which you can go to today in Columbia County, Georgia. Those discs that Ed is literally a part of were manufactured by a company called Discraft, which is a leading disc manufacturer out of Michigan. See, DGA through the years had other companies manufacturing for them, originally having Whammo making them for Ed, and then eventually moving to companies like Lightning Discs, Innova, even making some in-house before creating a great relationship with Discraft, who make their discs to this day. Some of these discs are made from shared molds, and others modifications of old ones, and in recent years, brand new DGA created molds entirely. Throughout the years, they were known for things like the Kitty Hawk in 1982 and the Gum Putt in 1986. The late 80s into the early 90s saw a ton of these modified mold discs coming out, including 5 different modified Stingrays, a modified AVR, a modified Whippet, and even a modified Viper. The Blowfly, a successor to the Gum Putt, was introduced in 1996. I was 3! And it is still in production to this day. Like me. Fast forward to the mid-2000s. We traded disco for pop punk, our bell bottoms for skinny jeans, and DGA decided to go back to the drawing board. They made a branding change that will look very familiar to you. Every disc 2007 and on will be part of a specific theme, starting with, in September of 2007, the Titanic. Actually, I don't know how that one makes sense. That doesn't make sense. Disregard that. Every disc after the Titanic. In October of 2007, the Shockwave, an overstable distance disc golf mid-range disc. Descriptions back then were apparently like Chinese knockoffs on Amazon. 2008 saw the introduction of the Blowfly 2 and the Tsunami, a 150 class extra long distance driver. You could tell that they were serious because they took the E off of the front of extra. 2009, the Aftershock, their first attempt at a modern day mid. In 2010, the Hurricane was released and is still one of their flagship distance drivers. 2011, they re-released the Titanic. That's weird. And from 2012 to 2020, they built out the rest of their disc lineup. Undertow, Breaker, Torrent, Hellfire, Sail, Pipeline, Quake, Tremor, Bonsai, Tempest, Rift, Hypercane, and most importantly, on February 6th of 2015, they paid homage to their founder and released the Steady, their flagship putter in their lineup named after Ed himself. In the 2021 offseason, they signed 2 prominent professionals to their team, Andrew Marweed and Katrina Allen. Andrew, known as the Cookie Monster for using an actual cookie for a mini marker, making the putt, and then picking it up and taking a bite. Legend, is known for being one of, if not the best putter in the world. And Katrina Allen is a 7-time major champion, including 2 of those wins being world championship titles. DGA worked closely with these 2 to develop some new disc molds that will become their signature discs, starting with the Vortex for Kat and the Avalanche for Andrew. The Vortex being a flippy fairway, perfect for the woods, and the Avalanche is a staple for a precision forehand player like Marweed. Some other notable players that DGA picked up are Cole Radalin, Eliezer Midling, Jake Mon, Evan Scott, and Sullivan Tipton. Which leads us into 2026. DGA as a brand is thriving, creating new discs like the Blast, their take on an overstable approach disc with a unique lip on the top of the rim, and still progressing the sport forward with new innovations to disc golf baskets every year. We have a lot to thank the brand for doing over the years, but most important, thank you Steady Ed for getting that job at Whammo in the first place. Without that job, we wouldn't have the sport we love to play today, Frisbee golf. Just kidding.